Howdo, and welcome to Liquid Football. I'm Tenacious G, and today I'm joined once again by the Dazman and Yorkie Man. Today we're going to be talking about Joe Hart. He's joined Spurs today, as on the day of recording. What do you think to that transfer, Daz?
We've had this chat, and I can see him looking, crossing his hands, he's ready for it. But I do believe there is a certain part of this that is literally just a tick in a box for English quota. I really do. He's not going to be the number one keeper. We know that. I don't know what's going on with their second keeper. Now, if he's going to play second keeper, then it's not a bad signing for Spurs. But if he's literally going there, let's use Danny Drinkwater as an example. He went to Chelsea and played hardly any games, and Joe Hart's the same. That he's literally going to go as a third place keeper. Then it's just about money in my book, money and ticks. But if he's going to do something and actively be their second choice keeper and actively playing maybe the cup games, then yes, it's a good transfer. But me personally, I'll be proven wrong about it. I'm sure I will. But I see it as a tick in the box at this moment in time, and just maybe Joe Hart getting a bit of money out of it.
I don't want to expand on that.
Well, the _Daz man. The situation here is it's nothing like the Drinkwater one. I completely agree with Drinkwater. He went in his prime, went absolutely tits up, should have never done it, was having a great time at Leicester, should have stayed there. I think Joe Hart hasn't played masses of football in the past few years, as far as I know. He was second string at Burnley, which of course he is going to be behind someone as good as who Todd Pope is. And he'll definitely be second string at Spurs. I don't think there's any question about that. I know there's a lot of talk on the internet at the moment that he's going there to fill a quota. What's wrong with that? They needed another goalkeeper. It's obvious they needed another goalkeeper, or they wanted another goalkeeper. Mourinho wanted another goalkeeper. So why not get someone who's English to fill the quota? Why not get someone who is an ex-international, who is only 33, and who knows? We don't know what shape Joe Hart's in, but he looked in pretty good shape when he was on TV the other night after I think it was the Man City game. He looks like he's ready to play football. And as a backup, I don't see him being too bad. I mean, time will tell when he actually gets some game time. But if he does fill the quota for European football, I don't see that being a problem. For me, I think it's a shrewd transfer because I do believe he can do a job. I'm happy for him because I'm one of the people that really rated Joe Hart. I know he's had some rough times, especially mentally, some rough times as a goalkeeper. I think he's a decent signing to be back up against like Fuller Rees. I don't know what's happening with Gazzaniga. I believe that's their second goalkeeper now. No idea what's happening with him, but it would go to show me that Jose's probably not seeing Gazzaniga as their second anymore. Or even Joe's coming in as a third, and just to have an international around the squad, around some of the younger players, is a bonus to have that kind of experience. And he's there if they ever need to call on him. But I see it as a good signing, and I think even if he does just fill the quota, I don't have a problem with that. If they'd have got a foreign goalkeeper, would we be talking about it as much? Probably not. So I'm quite happy for Joe.
I mean, obviously, there's no transfer fee involved, is there? So it's very low risk in that regard. Like you say, it's going to be relatively cheap, whether he's second or third. But I mean, he'll probably get a few games in the old cup games, stuff like that.
Could you have got his quality for free?
Probably not.
Now, we're working on quality that we haven't seen for a while, but could you have got someone as good as him free?
Not for free, definitely not.
Who was English as well, because if he comes in and does well, someone will pay for him.
I mean, obviously, he's in terms of goalkeeper, would you say he's in his prime? He's 33 years old, or just towards, just entering. What would you say is the prime age for a keeper? Anyone? I think it is 33. I think 33 is just for the record, but I'm just trying to.
Is there such thing as a prime age with so many different types of keepers having different spells, different places? Different ages that are playing the best football between 26 and 30, for example, and some between 30 and 35 or whatever. I don't know if you can have a prime age anymore. I think it's just something that happens where somebody plays a really good length of football at a certain time, and there's no age limit to it.
I think you usually dictate that goalkeepers for like his prime years were later in terms of they got a better existence in terms of time. Like usually, I think if you were signing a 33-year-old right back, you'd be like, you're not going to get long out of him. I think, especially when you had players like Van der Sar and stuff like that, I think he could well play into his mid-30s, late 30s, usually quite comfortably as a goalkeeper. Whether he will be able to do that, I think only time will tell. He's not played consistently at the top for a while. But I mean, I suppose it only takes an injury to Lloris, which we've seen before, and a run in the team, and you who knows what Joe Hart's reputation after that period of time in the team, like, because people's memories change. Joe Hart for a brief moment, although it may have been brief, was going to be the England number one for a long time, and was going to be Man City's number one for a long time. He was the name, and he just exploded. I mean, a few poor performances and mistakes will definitely do that to you. But I mean, if you're thinking about the mistakes that Joe Hart made, and now I've always had this, and I feel for him because he's English, and then you look at the mistakes that De Gea's made. I'm not likening them as in they're as good as each other, but I felt like he took way more punishment.
And it's because he's
way
English.
More slack because he's English, and it's common media destroys English players as quick as they build them up, and I really do think that hindered Joe Hart's career. I genuinely do. I think it's been a big downfall, and I'd love for him to be able to prove a few people wrong, because in my eyes, he was a brilliant goalkeeper that made a few mistakes, but I tell you what, he's very passionate, and I think he showed that for England. And if he does the same for Spurs, I think when he does play, he could have some good performances.
Yeah, definitely. I just think the one downside to his game in recent, like, with football moving forward, a lot of teams seem to play out from the back. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Mourinho isn't quite like that as much as, say, like your Pep Guardiola.
Way
So
more
it might work
defensive,
out.
More counter.
Yeah, it might work out better. He might be a decent option because of that reason. So
I remember Joe Hart being fairly good at kicking the ball out.
Yeah, but it's just it's like the short passes, wasn't it?
As he changed, he's had a long time to be. The goalkeeping changed, didn't it? Like you say, the style of goalkeeping's changed a lot, and playing out from the back became big, and then goalkeepers that couldn't play out from the back were seen to suffer. But I don't know. I don't view Tom Pope as someone who's a sweeper keeper.
I'm going to say one thing for certain: he's not going to change his ways under Sean Dyche.
No.
so I can't see him doing that.
I remember him being fairly decent at long distributions. So, I think it'll work out well for him in Mourinho's style when and if he does play. Who knows?
Anything to add on that, Daz?
No, I do hope that he does well. I'd like to see Joe Hart do well. Many teams have been linked with him.
I want him to get another advert.
Head and Shoulders.
I miss him in those adverts. I bought Head and Shoulders consistently for years because that man were in those adverts. And where are they gone? You won't see Head and Shoulders in this house until he gets back in an advert. If you're listening, Head and Shoulders.
Physically, he looks in good shape. But yeah, it's all down to what Lloris does, isn't it? It's all down to what Hugo does. And if he gets an injury, let's hope Joe Hart picks it up and runs with it.
Right, so that brings us to the end of this edition of Liquid Football. Let us know your thoughts on the Joe Hart situation in the section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the socials as well. They'll be on the screen in the description below. I've been Tenacious G. With today, obviously, Dazman and the Yorkie Man. We'll see you next time.